Welcome to the Explainer. So if you've ever seen photos of Busan, South Korea, you have definitely come across those absolutely breathtaking, stacked pastel rooftops clinging to the hillside. That's Gamcheon Culture Village. It's a literal dream for photographers, right? But honestly, between the steep maze-like alleys and the sheer volume of visitors, it can also get incredibly overwhelming. So today, we're diving straight into the ultimate hassle-free guide to capturing the absolute magic of this place. Let's get into it.
Real quick, here is our roadmap for today's virtual walk. We've got the blueprint on where and when to shoot, a super handy downhill photo loop, a breakdown on chasing the perfect light, some crucial pro tips and etiquette, and finally, your ultimate shot list.
All right, part 1, the blueprint, where and when. Before we start climbing any hills, let's lay down a solid foundation. We really need to know exactly which spots are going to do the heavy lifting in this sprawling village.
Think of this as your master cheat sheet. Gamcheon is basically one giant photo op, sure, but you really want to plan your day around a few key anchors. You've got the famous Little Prince viewpoint, which you'll definitely want to hit about an hour before sunset. Then there's the Sky Garden, or Hanul Maru. That is your absolute go-to at sunset to grab a massive 360-degree panorama of the village and the sea. If you're after those painted staircases, you want morning, soft light for those. Now the Angel Wings mural, you can shoot that anytime, but just a heads up, the lines get crazy long right around midday. And what if you get stuck with a cloudy day? Don't stress. That flat, overcast light is actually perfect for getting character shots at the Sewol Ferry and Sitting Cat murals tucked down in the alleys. Finally, late afternoon is exactly when you want to be chilling at a rooftop cafe, capturing the whole village spread out below you.
Moving on to part 2, the downhill photo loop. Now that we know what spots we're looking for, let's actually step into the village and knock out a really quick, highly efficient route. Seriously, this loop is an absolute game changer. By doing it in this specific order, you hit all the major landmarks while letting gravity do all the hard work for you on this incredibly steep hillside. So you start way up high at the Little Prince viewpoint for that classic framing, then just wander over to the Sky Garden to sweep that massive panorama. From there, you just work your way down. You'll naturally hit the Angel Wings and the painted stairs on your descent, then you'll find the Sewol Ferry and the Sitting Cat murals in the lower alleys. And boom, you perfectly time your finish by relaxing at a rooftop cafe just as the golden hour hits. Gravity does the work and the light just gets better as you go.
Okay, part 3, chasing the perfect light. Because honestly, knowing where to stand is only half the battle. Capturing the real magic here is entirely about when you hit that shutter.
Timing is everything. The golden hour, that gorgeous soft light right after sunrise or right before sunset, completely brings this village to life. The low sun literally warms up those pastel walls, it throws these amazing dramatic shadows down the steep staircases, and it just makes the rooftops absolutely glow. Compare that to the harsh, hazy midday sun. Well, midday just washes out all those vibrant colors you traveled all this way to see.
And here is a number you really need to keep in mind, 2.5. That represents a massive 2.5-hour swing in sunset times, depending on what time of year you visit Busan. I mean, in December, the sun is dipping down by 5:15 p.m., but in midsummer, it's light out until almost 7:45. You cannot just guess this stuff. You absolutely have to check the sunset schedule the day before you climb, or you might completely miss out on that golden hour glow.
Now, this usually brings up a pretty fascinating question from the night owls tuning in. Is it actually worth sticking around the village after that golden sunset completely fades away? Well, it's a conditional yes. Keep in mind, the shops and cafes close down pretty early, usually around 6 p.m., and those inner lanes get very quiet and partly unlit. It's definitely not the place to be wandering around in the dark. But if you stick to an upper viewpoint, something magical happens. The glowing hillside lights come on, and they perfectly contrast with the distant city lights of Busan in the background. If you are there on a crisp winter night, it is an unreal shot. Just remember to bring a steady hand, keep your voice down, and remember that you're in a sleeping neighborhood, not a bustling night market.
Which is a perfect pivot into part 4, pro tips and etiquette. Let's talk about the specific techniques and, frankly, the respectful practices that will really elevate your photos.
Let's run through some rapid-fire composition tips to transform those standard tourist snaps. First up, your phone camera is totally fine. In fact, a wide-angle lens is actually perfect for squeezing into those tight, narrow alleys. On the flip side, if you want that dense, stacked rooftop postcard look, you need to step back and zoom in from a distance to compress the layers. Next, use the staircases as leading lines to naturally pull the viewer's eye right through your frame. Try shooting people in portrait orientation, but definitely capture those sprawling rooftops in landscape. Also, try to get there early to beat the massive late morning tour bus crowds. Oh, and please, watch your footing on those incredibly steep stairs while you're staring through your viewfinder.
I absolutely love this piece of advice from transport writer Callum Reed. He says, skip the drone idea. A phone with a wide lens does everything here, and for the big aerial-style view, the Sky Garden beats any drone anyway. He totally hits the nail on the head. Gamcheon is a densely packed residential area. Buzzing a drone around is going to annoy the locals, and more importantly, it's strictly against local rules. Plus, like Callum points out, the Sky Garden already hands you the ultimate vantage point on a silver platter.
And speaking of the locals, this brings us to a huge, non-negotiable rule of etiquette. Never point a lens into an open door. It's so easy to get caught up in all the vibrant art and treat the place like a theme park, but real people actually live behind those beautiful walls. Being a good guest in Gamcheon means absolutely prioritizing and protecting the privacy of its residents.
Editor Jiwon Bae sums this sentiment up beautifully. She notes, "The wings and the little prince are lovely. But the photos I keep are the quiet ones. Laundry strung across a pastel wall. Ask first or shoot wide." It's such a brilliant perspective. The famous murals are awesome for sure, but the true, authentic soul of this village is so often found in those quiet, everyday moments just unfolding right around you. Finally, Part 5, the ultimate shot list. Let's tie everything we've talked about together into one master checklist so you can head home with the perfect portfolio.
If you want to absolutely nail the essence of this vibrant village, you have to lock in these 4 defining shots. First, grab that iconic framing of the Little Prince and Desert Fox looking out over the expansive rooftops. Second, capture the sheer massive scale of the place with a 360-degree sunset panorama up at the Sky Garden. Third, you want to capture the playful, artistic side, so hit the angel wings and the brightly painted staircases. And finally, you absolutely need that classic, wide landscape shot of the stacked pastel rooftops. That's the single image that instantly screams Gamcheon at a glance.
So, as we wrap up this explainer and you start plotting out your own photography loop through this incredible hillside, I want to leave you with one final thought. When you finally arrive, are you just going to stand in line for the exact same classic mural shot as everybody else? Or are you going to use these tips to look a little deeper, chase that perfect golden light, and capture the quiet, authentic, living soul of Gamcheon Culture Village?